తీసుకుంటూ అలల్లో కూడా తనకు తిమ్మాన్ని చూసుకొని వాటిని కూడా అడుగుతాట పరంధాం నా చేత ఏదైతే గలగల పాదే గౌతమి అలలను అడిగాడు విలవిలనాడే తన ఎద బాధను వివరించాడు. అంతటి పరంధాముడే నేను నారాయణుడు, నేను క్రియను అనుకోకుండా సామాన్య మానవుడా.
అందుకనే నారాయణుడు అనే భావానికి లేదు అసలు. అలా ఉంటే రావణుడు చావుడు,
రామాయణమే లేదు.
కాబట్టి ఎనివే మాట్లాడు, ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్తున్నాడు. శ్రీరస్తు, శుభమస్తు. I am very happy to meet Sri Thumu Venkata Ramakrishna Garu, who is born in the family of a great devotee of our country, Thumu Narasimhadas Garu, who was considered to have been blessed by Sri Rama and a soul that has attained the param, the ultimate release from all bondage. Sri Venkatram Vishnu Garu has taken up a great responsibility and a task of propagating Sri Rama Bhakti, devotion to Sri Rama, and he has created an institution, Sri Rama Bhakti Prachara Seva Samiti. In many forms, this propagation of Sri Rama Bhakti is being done. Great effort, efficiency, a sense of devotion and dedication, and also sacrifice. What is today necessary for this country is to remember Dharma. What we are going through today is Dharma Glani, which is why we are all suffering in many ways. As a country we are suffering, as an individual we are suffering. Culture is one thing, moral values are one thing, Dharma is not. How to define Dharma? Appropriateness of an action or thought, but based on righteousness, under all circumstances, whether it's convenient, easy or difficult, sticking to that appropriateness of behavior, outlook on life. So such an ideology emanates, it originates from the character of Sri Rama. If you examine Sri Rama's life, don't bother about whether it's Sri Mahavishnu or not. Take him as a human being, which is the message of Valmiki. Valmiki does not describe him as Mahavishnu, but described his personality totally. It's for us to see Sri Mahavishnu in Rama. It's not for Valmiki, nor for the Sri Rama to mention about it. Because the condition is Ravana was to be destroyed only by a human being. If there is a human being who thinks that he is Vishnu, he is not a human being. Or if he remembers that he is Mahavishnu, he is not a human being. A human being must be totally innocent, pure, righteous, devoted only to the Dharma. His parakram, his valor is inherent in him. He is Vishnu, there is no limit to his power. He can destroy the entire world. That power is inherent in him, but he thinks it is natural to him. Because I am Vishnu, I am so, that is not the idea he has. So, he exhibits such kind of a transparency and innocence in his behavior that, as our Ramakrishna Garu has mentioned, when Sita was stolen, she suddenly disappeared within a few minutes. And he goes in search of her like any other mortal, asking, crying, weeping, showing all distress, like as though he is helpless. Even the five elements and the trees and the inanimate objects have been addressed by him for guidance. So that was the sacrifice of his self-conscious awareness of being a Mahavishnu. We cannot deliberately forget anything. He has done it. That is the speciality of Mahavishnu. It's a very great thing. Not only that, in today's conditions of our country where we have drifted away from all kinds of dharma, righteousness, pure materialism is guiding our actions and lifestyle, top to bottom. We need to be reminded about the greatness of dharma, the ideology of dharma in the personality of Sri Rama. So this is a noble task he has taken up. As a son to his father, he was ideal. As a husband to his wife, he was ideal. As a ruler of his people, he was ideal. So, as an even on the battlefield, his ideal views on dharma did not desert him when he was fighting Ravana. His idea was not to somehow destroy Ravana, but righteously so. Kill him in a noble, righteous battle, but not somehow to destroy him, which means he did not nurture any hatred towards Ravana. And why was he so distressed when Sita was disappearing? She was lost, not known whether she died anywhere or she was abducted by some Rakshasa or what happens. He does not even try to guess what could have happened to her. He keeps his innocence transparently very much intact. So, the ideal totality of Sri Rama has no parallel in the history of human being or in the history of any avatar for that matter. He is only equal to himself. That's what I would say. As in the, for example, now this is related to the Mahakshetram of Bhadrachalam, Bhadradri. He revealed himself to a devotee, Ramadasa. Ramadasa was a government official, a Tahsildar who collected taxes on the people, and his duty was to remit the entire amount to the treasury. But in the meanwhile, something happened. His devotion to Sri Rama and perhaps a subconscious command to construct a temple on the hill diverted his principles to spending the government collection, revenue collection on construction of the temple. Yes, it is improper. It is a crime under the law of the land. It's not a sin. Somebody asked me what do you say about destruction of a masjid in Ayodhya? I said it's a crime but not a sin. Crime under law. So they should have been jailed for 10 years. That's all about it. But God would have accepted them. So Ramadas committed a crime under the letter of law of the land. So Rama doesn't come to his rescue. The crime has to be punished. The king is doing his own duty. Nawab is quite right in punishing him. Because if he is pardoning him because he has constructed a temple, somebody else would construct some other chowdhury, some other would construct a masjid, then they would have to be let off. King cannot afford to ignore the crime committed by his own official. So then, he jailed him for 12 years. He suffered hell. It was a rigorous imprisonment, consisting of hard labor even whipping occasionally. The point is, there are three characters, Ramadasa, the Nawab and Sri Rama. These three characters are the main ingredients of the story. It is history. He did not pardon him, but he has accepted him as a dearest devotee. Accepting Ramadas as his very dearest devotee, but allowing him to suffer in the jail on the orders of the Nawab, because under the law, shows how hard he is when dharma is concerned. So that is why the great saying is, Mahatma, a great soul, is at once soft and hard. Vajradapi kathorani, mruduni kusumanicha. Tender, more softer than a rose petal, harder than the diamond. So that way, when we understand the story of Ramadas and the character outlook of Rama and Dharma, we should be remembered for our future conduct, good or bad. What is the inspiration we have drawn from the story of Sri Rama? Okay, even I am going to perform a Koti Mantra Japam to please Rama. If I commit a small mistake, you would put me to jail. I cannot escape. My devotion to him, my Japam, my Homam will not absolve me from the crime I commit. Both, that has its own result, this has its own result. That is the wonderful discrimination Rama shows to us. So this is a country in which dharma has gone down to a low level in public life. I don't say entire public. There are great souls. We are talking about great men. Even the other day, Ramadas was there, not far from today. Chagaraja was there. But then they reached Sri Ram. But not without suffering, not without being tested, not without being cleansed. Jail life for 12 years is cleansing process. Like we clean a garment, put it in hot water, put it in some other soap. It undergoes lot of suffering, the garment, but shines ultimately when it is ironed out. Similarly, the soul undergoes a process of cleansing in suffering. Suffering must be welcome if somebody is wise. It's a process of cleansing. That is Rama's character. So when we are propagating the Rama Bhakti, obviously Dharma is also being propagated. Rama Bhakti and Dharma. Ancient Arya Dharma. So that is what we are propagating. That goes to the benefit of the people today in our country. We should somehow do something to improve the lot of the people by things like that. Somebody is providing free medical aid, but he is the greatest. Somebody is distributing some money, but this is a service to the very conduct of the people. The conscience of the people is being cleansed, approached. So the conscience becomes aware, more lively and activated in the minds of the people. It's a great service. I wish Sri Tuma Venkata Ramakrishna Garu all success. I admire his perseverance, and I am sure Sri Rama would make him a grand success. For every citizen to help him, and I am sure he will be a great success. Namaskar.